Everybody, it's Dr. Smith from Accomplished Health and Wellness here in Lawrence, and Heather Fiore from Free State Nutrition here in Lawrence as well. And we are redoing the Mediterranean diet because the sound wasn't working. I'm not sure why. So I rebooted my computer and started it was working. So hopefully you can hear us and we're not just like moving mouse. So anyways, this hopefully we don't forget anything from last time, but today for tea time, we have clear tea, which is called water. And that's because last time I forgot to make tea because my morning was really crazy. And but then we realized that the water actually went really well with our topic today, right?
That's right.
So, because the Mediterranean diet really pushes the water.
Yes.
So,
yes,
we're just going along with the Mediterranean diet recommendations and pushing the water, people, today.
Yes.
Plus, it's hot out, so.
Right. Once again, it's hot out.
Yeah, it's like a furnace.
It's just
so today we're going to talk about the Mediterranean diet, which is one of my favorites, just because I like seafood. And I also sometimes am on like the seafood diet, you know, the seafood you eat it. No, just kidding. Sorry, that was so bad. So anyways, we let's talk about the Mediterranean diet. What's up with the Mediterranean diet?
So it's kind of interesting because it's really not just one, diet, because if you think about the region, there's lots of countries that border the Mediterranean. Now, they're not all affiliated with this, so-called Mediterranean diet, but there are several countries involved.
It's a common theme, right?
So there's just a lot of general eat lots of this or limit this or whatever, but it's not sort of hard and fast rules. Which is important because people like rules.
Yeah, we've talked about that. We don't like all these strict rules.
No,
right? We just want you to eat healthy food.
I try to compromise with people, and we'll talk about like portions and all that kind of thing.
We talked about that last time. So portions. Let's do that before I forget. Okay. So like the fruit, right? We were fist bumping somewhere over here.
That's right.
That's like so if your fist if the fruit is as big as your fist, that's about right.
Yes.
What about a banana?
So banana, I usually just tell people like a small banana is considered a serving, and a large banana is considered 2 servings. If you get a medium banana, then
whatever, you're 1.5.
However you feel like interpreting.
So like, could you cut the banana in half and see?
Yes. Or you can eat 2 servings.
There you go. Right, because you're supposed to have lots of servings of fruits and vegetables.
Fruits and vegetables are really not concerned about limiting.
Right.
Because even for diabetes, like obviously you need to count your carbohydrates. You need to keep that in range. But eating too much fruit does not cause a problem. Even in like diabetes, like it does not cause diabetes. Okay. Right. Do not limit fruit because you have diabetes.
Right.
Or you're at risk for it.
I actually hear that a lot, and we should talk about that sometime. Like add it to our diabetic diet or something.
Yes.
Because I hear that a lot. People are afraid to eat that fruit because of its sugar load.
Sometimes their doctor tells them that.
Yeah. So we should definitely talk about that.
Yes. Agreed.
So this one actually is 7 to 10 servings of fruits and vegetables. That's a ton.
Yes.
You'd be eating fruits and vegetables all day.
Right. You pretty much have to. And you have to eat more than 1 serving at a time because you don't eat 10 times a day.
Right.
So you're going to eat a couple servings of fruits and vegetables at each meal, like throughout the day.
So what is your, what are the vegetables? So the fist.
Right. So that's a fruit. Right. That's a fruit.
Is it like the cup?
Yes.
Cup of hand? And then that's cooked.
That's your, right. So this is a handful. It's like a half a cup.
It's a half a cup.
And that's a serving of cooked vegetable.
But don't put them in your hand or you'll burn it.
No, don't. You're just eyeballing.
That's
all you're doing. That's all you're doing.
But what was, I forgot, the non-cooked.
Right. So the salad or raw vegetables, it's a fist again. So
fist.
That's your cup measure. Okay.
Fisted
and that's
out.
a really small salad. right?
Right.
Like this is like the lame little salad that you get, at a restaurant that's like your side
Oh
salad
yeah,
or something,
like
right?
that little
Like pathetic little guy.
yeah. I don't like them.
No.
I mean, salads are like huge.
Salads tend to be huge. So that means you're getting multiple servings
That's good.
at a time when you eat a salad. Like it's very easy to do.
Good.
So,
yay, Sarah can hear us, so we're good.
Phew. So that's important to know. You sit down, you eat a salad. You could eyeball, okay, how many fistfuls do I think I'm eating?
Right.
And so you have a sense of like, right. You always
hammer it out on it, right? Yeah. So fist is fruits and vegetables not cooked. A hand is a half a cup of cooked.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Meat is like a deck of cards, right?
A deck of cards.
But you were saying last time that if it's
sometimes, it can be in a different shape. It might be like a fillet of like fish, right? It could be like kind of longer and flatter. And so if you think about a checkbook,
that was it.
If you, are familiar with checkbooks,
I have a checkbook.
Some of us are still kind of.
I'm so old school.
Sometimes it works. And so there you go. That's your serving of fish. So it's really only like 3 to 4 ounces is what we're talking about. Right. And so the fruits and vegetables, this is every day, 7 to 10 servings for the Mediterranean diet. Yes.
That's a lot.
It's a lot.
But, it's not really all that much because my salad is probably, I eat a salad every day pretty much for lunch, but, and it's probably about 4 servings of vegetables, and sometimes I put fruits in there and healthy fat because I do usually like a vinaigrette type of dressing. So and then my nuts, and this one has nuts in it, right?
Yes,
like you're supposed to
every
always
day
have
handful of nuts.
handful of nuts. So I put that's my trick. I love croutons, but they're not the best for you. And they, when you're trying to do good things like eat a salad, you should probably not put croutons in it. So I put nuts in it actually to give me the crunch.
Yeah.
And it works for my brain.
There you go.
So, and so that would be my serving. And then, so if I have 4, I really only need like 3 more servings, which probably pretty easy.
Say you get 2 pieces of fruit and then like a vegetable, or even 3 pieces of fruit.
And I actually usually eat an apple with my salad. So then there's like,
you're up to 5.
See, it's not that hard.
It is not that hard. Yes, I agree, Sarah. Sunflower seeds. That's what I.
Oh yes, last time we talked about that. Yes. You like the sunflowers. I like those too, actually. Yeah. So
you can also put chia seeds on your salad if you're into that.
I did that once, and
it didn't work out, did it?
No, it didn't. And the reason is that like they look like little bugs. I was like,
there's the aesthetic factor.
There's little bugs on my salad. I can't do that. No. But also they were like, it was like they kept getting stuck in my teeth, and I was having struggles with that. So I have my new little regimen with chia seeds in my yogurt, and I like that. They pop like kiwi seeds, so I like that. Yeah, cool. So anyways, you're eating with this diet fruits and vegetables every meal and snack,
possibly.
Yeah,
possibly.
Which is good for you. That's going to keep your gut good. Which is actually, with the Mediterranean diet, there is a lower incidence of cancer. And one of those is most likely, I know one of them is breast cancer because I read about that. But it says cancers, and I bet that colon cancer is actually one of them because when your gut is going well, and you have a high fiber diet and you're eating lots of fruits and vegetables, there is already a known lower incidence of colon cancer. So the breast cancer one was interesting. And they said specifically with women that did a Mediterranean diet that supplemented with healthy fats and also nuts, a handful of nuts every day. And my thinking behind it is that the healthy fats, because you're having the omega, you're having the omega-3, which is, anti-inflammatory in the system. So it's going to go around and decrease the free radicals there because you have less, because you have more You have less inflammation.
Yeah.
But then also, you're not subjecting yourself to all of these preservatives that are in our foods now. And also, I'm pretty convinced it's the processed soy. Because, our bodies do change that in our fat cells specifically. We'll convert that into estrogen. There's like something in the soy that's converted into estrogen. And so we don't, more estrogen, more breast cancer, right? So maybe. There might be another couple of links too.
Right. Well, just the volume of fruits and vegetables, right? People who eat more fruits and vegetables have less chronic illness, including cancer.
Yeah, and inflammation. Yeah, and autoimmune disease.
Yeah.
So then, what about the oils? Right. This is all about healthy fats too.
Right. So it's definitely not a low-fat diet. There's lots of fat. So typically, we think of olive oil, and I think that's sort of the main source. But there's like avocado and the nuts. And
the canola oil, right? You could add that in. And you're supposed to replace the butter, people, with the healthy oils.
Yeah.
But like we talked about that one time when we did the healthy fats, you also have to look at how things taste. And if it tastes a little bit better with butter, you just don't want to go overboard, right?
Right. But olive oil doesn't work for every single thing that you're making.
Right. And neither does canola oil.
Right.
And so sometimes butter does. So you can use the butter here and there.
Right. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with using butter. It's just important to know, like, you're not eating health food. Like, you're just eating butter because it tastes good. And that's okay.
Right.
There's nothing wrong with doing that. But just know what you're doing.
Right. Though, you can get there are some vitamins in butter. We talked about that, some fat soluble vitamins. But you have to get the good butter. You really have to get the organic grass-fed beef butter, because the grass-fed has higher omega-3s in the fat.
Right.
So,
Right. The regular stuff in the store isn't really doing much for you.
Right.
Let's be honest.
And people, stay away from margarine. It's not good for you. Right. So healthy fats, that also is a big reason probably that this diet decreases the incidence of Parkinson's and Alzheimer's disease and dementias, because you have all the healthy fats for your brain. You need them to create neurotransmitters and all of your hormones and everything, and they will you need that to make cell membranes and line your neurons and all kinds of stuff. So those healthy fats are good.
Absolutely.
What else is in this?
So whole grains.
Whole grains.
Yes. And, we think Mediterranean, we think Italian, we think pasta. But it's actually whole grains that they tend to eat most of. Like, they're not eating refined semolina like we are.
Right.
It's whole grain pasta.
Right.
Yeah.
Do we have like real whole grain pasta?
We do.
I like to think the dark pasta, but it has semolina in it.
Right. But it's like, is it, how is it processed?
Oh, right. I like whole grain pasta better anyway, because I find that when you eat you can eat like a plate of spaghetti that's white pasta, and an hour later you're like, did I eat dinner? I'm not sure. So
right, or you can barely get full because you're just like, how much pasta do I need to eat to get full?
Right, but then if you eat the whole grain pasta, it's like definitely you get fuller on a smaller amount, but it has a whole lot more fiber in it too,
it does,
which is going to fill you up.
Yeah.
Exactly. But other so we don't want like white rice and stuff like that either. We want whole grain rice.
Right. And it's, it's not necessarily that every grain needs to be whole, but it's just like you want to choose whole grains when you can. So when you can choose brown rice, do that. If you can choose whole grain pasta, do that. Brown, whole wheat.
You can, for the most part.
You can. I mean, some people just really don't like it that much. And, if that's the case, it's kind of a bummer. Like, if you really like pasta and you're not into the whole grain, like, it's kind of sad. Some people just don't eat pasta at all. I happen to think pasta is delicious. So, it would be a bummer to not eat pasta at all.
That would be a bummer. I also like quinoa.
Yes.
Quinoa is a good.
Excellent whole grain. But lots of those, those ancient grains, those are all whole grain.
Is quinoa an Asian grain?
I think so. I don't know. I mean,
I always
it's
have
sort
to
of in
get.
that department.
I always have to get like the store-bought already made quinoa because I just can't make the quinoa right. I don't know. It always has like this earthy taste, and I'm not sure what I'm doing
We
wrong.
talked about like you have to
like
to
soak
rinse
it and rinse it, and then hope for the best.
Yeah.
And it hasn't been the best for me.
That's too bad.
I know, it's so sad. What do you do? So, but then also legumes and
for sure.
And lentils, are those legumes?
They are in the legume category for sure.
The beanie.
Just that lentils are a little different in that they're easier to work with because they don't take overnight to soak. Like you can just cook them from dry and they won't take forever.
So you could like put them in something. Mm-hmm. Do you have to soak them if you make, because I've heard of those lentil burgers.
Right.
Lentil can kind of have like a meaty taste, right?
Yes, that's true.
If you make it correctly.
If you're into that sort of thing. If you want meaty taste, then sure, that could be. So yeah, you would soak them, but again, it's not this overnight or like 12-hour process to soak lentils. Right. If whatever you're cooking them in, you need to add lots of water because they're gonna take on some water and from dry. But it's it's not a big long process. Like soak them and then make your lentil burgers or we make burgers with any kind of beans. Like
really?
Yeah.
Like white beans?
Like I've seen black beans. Black beans, kidney
what else
beans,
do you put in there?
Kind.
Do you ever make like mixed mushrooms in there?
Sometimes
like portobello mushrooms.
They do add a lot of flavor.
Yeah. So that might be kind of a cool mixture.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So and what we usually do. And I say we, but to be honest, my husband's the cook in the family. So
nothing wrong with that.
I just might happen to be nearby and see what he's doing. But like, we kind of take the beans and you squish them like they're not whole.
Like you mash them.
You kind of mash them up, and then you form them into patties, and then you put them in a pan and you pan fry them, mixed in with whatever could be mushrooms.
So could you do like a can of beans?
Yes, you can absolutely can beans. Mm-hmm.
You just mush them?
Yeah, like put them in a bowl and like
drain.
You're gonna you definitely rinse canned beans first. Yeah. So put them in a colander, rinse them out, drain them, and then put them in a bowl and mix them with whatever you want your burgers to taste like. Maybe it's onions and maybe it's garlic, maybe it's tomatoes, maybe it's like spinach. Sometimes we'll have like sautéed spinach.
Man, that like garlic onion bean burger is not going to get you kissed later.
As long as you're both eating it, it's
well,
fine.
That's true.
It's totally fine. Everyone needs to have some, and then you're okay.
Right.
Yes. So then you put it in the bowl and you mix it, and then you kind of mash it. Like
maybe
we use a potato masher.
That if you aren't sure, like if you want to get kissed, then let me have the bean onion garlic burger. That sounds perfect tonight. Sorry. We're digressing. Okay, but that does sound good.
Yes. And you put it in a whole wheat bun,
and then you've got your grains.
Yeah.
And then don't do the French fries, but maybe a salad.
Right. Probably. Yeah. Probably. Or some baked fries.
Yeah.
You can bake them.
Yeah. They have these like really good actually vegetable fries that have carrots and broccoli. Have you seen those? Mm-hmm. So my kids actually eat them. They really like them. Yeah. And then they have these like, I don't know, I call them fake onion rings, but they're not really fake because they do have onion in there, but it's like onion and cauliflower.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Crazy.
And I know. And I was like, this is not going to be good. But my Elsie was like, Mom, we should try these because they look like onion rings and maybe someone else will eat them.
Wow.
And, my other kids do.
That's
because
awesome.
My middle one doesn't like onion rings, but she likes these. And I think it's like the onion in it that she doesn't like, like, the strip of onion.
Right.
But she eats it with the cauliflower, so there you go. You could have that.
So the thing that we're, kind of getting around to here with this Mediterranean diet is the meat part. And so it's primarily poultry and fish. Yes. And they say at least 2 times a week. So You know, for a lot of people, that's hugely different than what we're doing now, right? Most people are eating meat every day, if not. Oh, where do you find the veggie fries?
Yeah, so the veggie fries, this is a question by Sarah. And the veggie fries are actually made by Alexis, I believe is the brand. And there's usually like an Alexis section in the, like the freezer section, you know, where the French fries are. And you can get them at Dillon's. I get them at Dillon's. I bet you can get them at Hy-Vee. I know you can get them at Hy-Vee. Probably also Walmart, but they're like by the Alexis French fries, and they're usually at the top, and they have like carrot and I think it's like carrot and potato mixed, and then there's a broccoli and potato mixed. I think there's a French fry that's like that, and then there's actually I think like a tater tot. That is the broccoli one. And then there's like the onion rings that are up there too. So there you go. Cool. And usually they're on, like a lot of times they're on sale. So they'll be like 2 for $6 or something, which I don't know. Does that sound, it probably, I mean, it's a French fry, so they're not like $1.50 like, you know, a lot of the other ones are. But I have 3 kids, and we don't usually go through. It takes us probably 2 or 3 meals before we go through a whole bag. So you know, that's not that bad actually. Yeah. So, anyways, so yeah, back to fish and poultry. Right. So twice a week. Right. But is it like twice a week fish and twice a week poultry, or does it really matter? Yeah,
I mean, then this is where like it's not exact anyway, right?
Right. Like, you just don't want red meat.
You want to mostly eat fish and poultry. And minimize red meat. Like, don't avoid it, but like that's not the main place you're going to get your protein or even your meat sources. Hopefully, it's more fish and poultry. And you know, most people are having them twice a day, so to go to twice a week might sound insane.
Right.
You know, in which case, like,
or daily even. That might be a big change.
Even daily could be a change, and especially the portion we're talking about, like the 3 ounces.
Right.
It's not a lot.
That's like.
So if
you know those like huge. Have you seen those chicken breasts? They're like, what are they like? 4 servings of chicken?
Probably.
Or 3? They're probably 3. I mean, they're like 3. Chickens on steroids.
I mean, they literally are.
I'm always afraid to eat them because you know they're called fryer chickens. Mm-hmm. And fryer chickens are actually genetically programmed to grow to a normal, like it would take a normal chicken to grow in like 9 months. Mm-hmm. They grow in like 6 weeks. And so they can't even stand up. Like that's like a heart attack chicken. That's what we're eating. We're eating like heart attack cows and heart attack chickens. It's really sad.
They're obviously not, you know,
thanks,
roaming around cage free or anything. They can't even move.
They can't even move. They can't even stand up. They're like stuck there.
Yeah.
Just sitting.
Kind of a miserable life for a chicken.
Sometimes their legs break. They can't even stand up. They really can't.
I don't, you know, and, you know, I think there's plenty of ethical things we could talk about with meat, and I don't think we want to go there.
Yeah, because you're a butcher. We could talk about
you know, but, you know, at some point you have to wonder, like, how much do you care about, like, the life these animals lead before they get eaten, you know?
Right.
Because in theory, they can have a nice life and then get slaughtered humanely.
Right.
And then eaten.
Right.
Like, that's the least you could do, right? Is, like, treat them kindly. And...
Did you know, actually, because we're kind of like on the side track now. But did you know that you can actually Google local farms, and you can get you can order. So say you wanted, this doesn't go along with the Mediterranean diet, but say if you wanted a cow for your family for the year, you can actually order a cow from a local farmer who does, like, you can go out to the farm, you can see what they do, how their cows are grazed and everything. And the last time I checked, which was like 1.5 years ago or 2 years ago, the per pound for the cow was like $3 a pound.
Wow.
Yeah. And that was like after processing and everything, it came out to be about $3 a pound. That's which is nuts. Like, yeah, and you can like when you order your cow, you can order whatever, like they call you when the cow is going to the butcher shop to to be humanely butchered, and they will ask you, what kind of meat do you want? And if you don't know, you say, I have no idea, and then they'll go through it with you over the phone, and then you can order like, oh, I want this much as steak, this much as ground beef, this much as whatever, and it's the same with chickens and pigs, maybe fish. I don't know. Yeah. There are fish farms. There are fisheries.
That is a thing.
Fish,
so
yeah,
could be.
So, anyways,
cool.
There is a way to get your meat humanely processed in a happy environment.
Right. And it doesn't cost money, apparently. And
it doesn't. I know. I was super surprised. And you can. And the nice thing is, you can go out to the farm. You can talk to the farmer.
Yeah.
Which is super cool.
It's always nice.
Then you know where your meat came from.
Definitely.
You know. So, anyways, so you're not supposed to do pig and beef on this diet. It's fish and chicken and turkey.
Right. Mostly.
Yeah.
We're not saying avoid.
But even like, it's not a lot. It's just like 3 to 4 ounces.
Right. So
in a serving.
So the fruit, the vegetable is really like your main part of your meal. Yeah. Like if you think about that as the main dish and the meat is a side dish.
Yes.
Okay. You're going to cut up small amounts and you're going to like maybe put it on top of a salad or whatever you're going to do with it. It's going to be a small amount.
Yeah. I don't know if last time I saved that pyramid onto Facebook. If I did, I'll look. And if I didn't, then I'll save it. But there's this great pyramid that is from that I found on the Mayo Clinic website. And it has like the way it's a food pyramid for the Mediterranean diet. And so you'll look and see that fish is like higher up on the pyramid.
Right.
So it's a smaller amount. So, yeah. And then we do low-fat dairy.
Right, so dairy is included.
We talked about this last time. It's not a lot of dairy that you're doing, but you're doing like cheese and milk and whatever. And we talked about this last time that we were talking about the low fatness and how a lot of the low fatness has all this other stuff in it. It's not like it's low in fat and high in chemical. And so maybe it's better to do the full fat.
Maybe so. It depends what they're talking about. I don't think they mean low-fat cheese. I mean, I don't think Mediterranean people in
care about
Spain or Italy or France, I mean, they're not eating low-fat cheese. Come on now. Yeah. They're eating regular cheese. They're just eating a small amount. Yeah. So let's be real.
There we go.
Yeah. And then there's yogurt, of course, right? Like Greek yogurt. I mean, you can eat low-fat Greek yogurt, even fat-free.
And put your chia in it.
Right, you can put your chia in it. But it doesn't have a lot of extra stuff. They don't do a lot of extra stuff to it. They just take the fat out and that's the end. Right. Sometimes you look at yogurt in the store and there's like all this stuff in it.
All this stuff. I can't even pronounce half of it.
But Greek yogurt is usually pretty straightforward. So,
yes. And then my favorite part of this, well, the fish. I like the fish. I'm a seafood eater. But then the next one is wine.
Yes.
But it's specific.
It is very specific here that it's only 5 ounces a day for women and up to 10 ounces a day for men. And this is an optional piece. Like you don't
have to do it.
You don't start drinking wine.
Right. Like if you're not drinking wine normally, this diet doesn't tell you to start drinking it.
No. It's just if you do.
If that's a part of your normal daily routine, then it is actually incorporated into the diet. And it's
a small glass.
Yeah, it's like a little glass, right? Like a normal, old-fashioned wine glass of wine. And so just kind of like as a recommendation from physicians, the recommendation actually for wine and any alcohol really is 1 drink daily for women and up to 2 for men because they're bigger. Unless you're like a 6-foot woman, then you can probably do the 2 drinks.
Perhaps.
I mean,
we don't know.
I don't really know that. But the thought is that we're half the man size, so we should drink half the alcohol. But red wine is something I can usually justify in my own like daily stuff. Not daily. I don't drink wine daily. But when I go to drink something that's alcohol, I do wine more often than not. And I like red wine because it's heart healthy. You know, there's lots of data out there that shows that it decreases your incidence of cardiovascular disease, but also it has antioxidants in it. And so it's going to go out there and, chase down your free radicals and all that good stuff and decrease cancer and everything. So I can justify that one.
Sure. How about it?
And then, so I think last time we talked about that this is, we shouldn't call it a diet. It's a lifestyle change, right?
Right.
And I love this last part of the diet with the lifestyle, incorporating lifestyle in it. So, of course, there's exercise. We want regular exercise. Definitely. And the recommendation is at least 30 to 60 minutes of moderately intense exercise most days of the week. That's our current recommendation. And we've talked about this before a little bit. You don't have to do that all at once. Like, you can break it up. If you only have 10 minutes and you can do 10 minutes a couple times a day, that gets you up to 30 minutes. We're all working moms and stuff. We know how it goes. So, and
it might even be better for you if you're getting up multiple times a day, breaking it up, because sitting for long periods, we know all by itself is not good. Even if you exercise in the morning, then you sit at your desk for 8 hours.
Yeah, it's not good.
No, it's not good. So it's almost better to break it up.
Yeah, it's like called your exercise smoke break. While everyone else is smoking, you're exercising.
There you go.
Which is good. A brisk walk, it's going to wake you up too. So you'll be a little bit more productive.
You may not need that 3 p.m. coffee even. You can just go for a walk.
Yeah. But then the last part, I love this. So what's the last part? You can.
So it's not just like eat this food and this amount and all this stuff. It's eat with family and friends.
I love that.
Right.
We always eat as a family. Although with like little kids, sometimes it's hard to like make them stay at the table. Yes. They're like up and about.
For sure.
But you eat differently when you eat with family and friends. Like, you don't usually eat as much because you talk.
Right. And it takes longer. It's more relaxing. You talk and you eat and you stop and maybe you even talk about what you're eating.
Right.
And whether
that always happens with my friends. We talk about this food and whether it was good and what we should do next time if we're going to do it again.
Right.
And then my kids, they usually go, "Mommy, this is yucky." Well, only one. And then another one says, "But I love it." And so it's always like,
Well, it's a discussion. That's
it is. And
but
I make them try it.
That they're tasting it, and
they are,
and they're maybe enjoying it, maybe not enjoying it, but at least tasting it. If you're sitting there by yourself in front of the TV, for example, how much are you paying attention to what you're eating?
You mindlessly eat. And studies show you eat more.
You eat more, and you enjoy it less. Oh. Yes, it is less satisfying
because you're paying attention to that.
Because we eat with our eyes. If you don't watch yourself eat the food, if you don't watch the plate of food disappear, it doesn't register.
Right.
And so you still feel hungry.
So you eat more.
Isn't that weird?
That is crazy.
We are just really not smart beings sometimes.
I know. And like they're just you just mindlessly eat. You're not paying attention to your family. And that's like a time that it's good time.
Right.
Quality time.
I mean, how many other times in your day do you get a chance to talk to your family?
And that's when you find out what's going on in your kid's life, right?
And
your spouse.
Yeah.
Or significant other or whatever, however you want to label them.
Right.
Yeah. So you need to put the table trays away. Those are only for like, pizza night and you're watching a movie.
Yeah.
Then you can do that. But the rest of the time, it should be at the dinner table.
Yes.
You will eat less. You will enjoy it more. And the Mediterranean lifestyle change likes that. And so do we.
Yes. It just makes sense. Like you just, the
you can listen to your body, right? Your brain is going to tell your stomach that you're full, and you can acknowledge that.
No, it's the other way. Your stomach
tells your brain to tell your stomach to stop
and if
eating.
your brain is busy watching TV, it's obvious how.
No, the phone's ringing.
It's really obvious that if you're not listening, if you're watching TV instead,
you can't hotline. Whoever knows what that is, I don't even know.
Then you will not register. You won't get the message because you're busy.
Right. Your stomach has to be stretched, and it has to send the signals to your brain to tell your mouth to stop.
Right. It's not until you're stuffed, and then your brain's like, "Oh, I guess I should stop eating now."
Sometimes that's how I am, and then it's more like the indigestion.
Right,
like,
let me go back a few bites.
I eat too much.
Yeah.
Anyways, okay.
Oh, so beyond that, what we're going to do in the comments too is share some recipes that we have from a personal chef who's also studying to become a
I had a
dietitian.
personal chef.
I know, that would be amazing. Catherine Brown. So she's got some awesome recipes that really blend well with our discussion and the Mediterranean diet. So check that out, and also follow her on Facebook. Her Facebook page is A Seat at My Table.
A Seat at My Table.
Which
I
is
love
lovely. Yes.
Yes.
She's got just gorgeous pictures of delicious looking food.
And I put those on Facebook actually the last time.
Yeah.
They're still under my video, so I'll try and link them again this time to this one. So yes, they are some really pretty pictures too. I love pictures of food.
Yeah.
Especially when I'm making a recipe, then I know what it should look like.
Right. If you don't know, like, at least know what it's supposed to look like, it's not as fun. It's hard to pick a recipe without seeing it. Oh, that looks good.
That's so true. Okay.
So next time
we had decided to do
intermittent
fasting. Yes, because I'm not sure about that. I don't know that that's a good idea.
Right. Agreed. But we're going to talk about it.
We'll talk about it.
Because it's a thing.
And then we'll sort it out.
Mm-hmm.
And like always, guys, if you have any questions that you're dying to ask and we didn't answer, please ask away and we will get you an answer. And I'm glad nobody blew themselves up, at least that we know.
Not that we know.
This last holiday, and I hope everyone enjoyed it, and have a good rest of your week. Bye, guys.